What's up, guys? Coming to you today with a full set of NBA action on top of our college football championship game here on Monday, January 19th. I'm going to give you my favorite picks on the side and over-under on the college football playoff championship. We're also going to break down every single NBA game on the slate. It's a very nice little slate out there, and obviously getting after it here with the college football championship. Very exciting stuff. I'll give you my favorite underdog pick of the day and my massive lock. So, as a big thank you to me, take that 10th of a second and slam that like button. It really helps to get the videos promoted out there, especially these videos that come out a little bit earlier in the week. The non-NFL videos can have a little bit of trouble getting traction this time of year, so do me that big favor and hit that thumbs up button. Also, subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. If you've been here for a while, just check below and see if you're subscribed. Being subscribed to the channel not only helps me see the channel is growing, but it helps keep you from missing out on these videos. And I post a new video every single solitary day. So big shout out to all the new subscribers. We've had a lot of new subscribers coming on board lately, so really appreciate all of you. Also, make sure you get down in the comments asking me any questions you have about any sport out there. I'm more than happy to answer if I can. If it's a sport I have no idea about, I'll be more than happy to tell you, sorry man, I have no idea about that sport. I can't really point you in the right direction. But usually I have at least something instructive to say. I can hit up the premium cappers over there at stumpthespread.com and ask them what they're thinking about whatever you're thinking. So definitely get in the comments. I personally read and usually answer every single comment I get, or at least I try to. I do have a 1-year-old in the house, so that can get a little bit time consuming. Also, make sure you're checking the pinned comment throughout the day. Every single day, guys, we put the pinned comment there. It's the top comment under the video, and that's where you'll find my favorite picks from the video every single solitary day. Those are the ones we're keeping track of constantly, and those are the ones we're going to try and bring you guys a sweep on very, very soon. In terms of a recap for yesterday, guys, it was a very, very busy day out there across the sports world. We unfortunately do end up with another 3-3 day. We had the under in that Houston-New England game, and it just ended up the Patriots put up too many points. Drake May ended up with 3 touchdown passes. So if you did take the over there on Drake May, over 1.5 touchdown passes in this game, that one cashed. Also, the running game got going. The Houston defense really couldn't stand up to the fact that CJ Stroud and company just kept turning the ball over, and that just ended up leading to a higher total than what we were wanting. We did hit Colby Parkinson over 19.5 receiving yards there at -114. The Rams do come away with the win in that game. So yeah, hats off there to Colby Parkinson. He didn't end up finding the end zone, but did have 56 receiving yards. So very good work there. Unfortunately, despite the Patriots having a very good day offensively, Hunter Henry did not get to hit the 40 receiving yards we needed from him, so that ended up being a loss. On the NBA side, we only had one NBA play in there, and unfortunately, we were on the Magic, and I guess I was completely out of my mind thinking that Ja was going to come out and play poorly in London. He came back and carried Memphis to a huge win. Orlando came out completely flat. I guess maybe a little bit of an emotional letdown after that game in Germany or something, but that did not look good. We cashed both our dog of the day and our massive lock of the day. We had the Bears +4 as the dog of the day, and those 4 points were enough. They ended up losing by 3 there in overtime. An absolutely insane game. Caleb Williams does get picked off 3 times. Maybe not every single one of those was his fault, but that was not super helpful. Stafford didn't have a banner day, completed less than half of his passes, but in the end, the Bears do enough defensively, especially to keep them in this game. And yeah, just a few too many mistakes from an inexperienced team that's not used to playing in the playoffs, and the weather obviously not helping too much in that situation. But we do cash our dog of the day there on the Chicago Bears. We also cash our massive lock of the day there on the New England Patriots on the money line. They come through. Drake May, a big day like we were talking about. Ramondre Stevenson was also very big out there, 70 yards on 16 carries. In another game that was definitely affected by the weather, Stephon Diggs, that touchdown catch that he had was absolutely incredible. So very, very good stuff, albeit in a very sloppy game from both teams. So we end up 3-3 on the day, back-to-back 3-3 days. That's not exactly what we're looking for. So let's see if we can get out there, get back after it. We've obviously got a college football game that's kind of a big one, and then we've got the full NBA slate. So let's go ahead, guys. Let's dive in. Also got to mention another very solid winning hockey day over there for the premium members in cashing a 10-unit play there on the Rams. College basketball had a terrible day, but the Rams coming through on the money line as a 10-unit play. The Texans not working out, but the Red Wings cashing a 2-unit play. The Oilers cashing a 3-unit play, and the Hornets coming through as a nice 1-unit play there on the NBA side. A decent day for sure over there for all the premium members. But now let's go ahead and get after it, guys. We are looking at our college football championship here for 2026, and we've got the Miami Hurricanes going up against the Indiana Hoosiers. The Hurricanes come into this game officially 13-2 on the season. They've looked very good so far in the postseason, taking down Texas A&M, taking down Ohio State, and then beating Ole Miss there in a bit of a thriller their last time out. That win over Texas A&M was a rock fight, guys. They end up winning that game 10-3, so they make it happen, but definitely not a banner day for the Hurricanes offensively. Carson Beck was fine. He's going to be a big part of our handicap in this game for sure. He had one touchdown pass for 103 yards. Mark Fletcher Jr. ran for 172 yards in that game, and obviously the Hurricanes defense looked absolutely amazing in that one. Then against Ohio State, a bit of an upset there for sure. The Hurricanes get the 24-14 win. Carson Beck once again very good, limiting mistakes. 19 of 26, 138 yards passing, and one passing touchdown. Fletcher, very good in that game as well. 19 carries for 90 yards, and another banner day there from the Miami Hurricane defense. They come with a couple interceptions. Very, very good work there. Those are the only two turnovers they, rack up, but they did slow down that Ohio State rushing attack a ton. Pretty much completely shut it off. So that was a very good look. Then against Ole Miss, a bit bigger of a test. They end up with the 31-27 win. So the defense doesn't exactly have an amazing day, but Carson Beck gets a little bit more productive. 23 of 37, 268 yards, 2 touchdowns, but was picked off once. We loved what we saw from Mark Fletcher Jr. though, guys. 22 carries, 133 yards from him. Marion also had a big day there in the receiving game, so a lot of good work. Now, the defense wasn't necessarily incredible. They did give up 27 points. They slowed down but did not stop the pass, and they struggled a little bit against the run, but if you take off that 173-yard rush they gave up, it wasn't nearly that bad of a day out there. So we'll see if the Hurricanes can eliminate some of those mistakes defensively. I mean, over the course of the season, they were incredible on defense. 5th in the college football ranks, guys, giving up only 14 points per game. So there is still plenty to like here for the Hurricanes. There's no major injury news that I know of. We are pretty high on Carson Beck in this spot. He's had a very good season. He did have that one implosion game. I can't remember who that was against. He just threw a million interceptions. That was super weird. But overall, the Hurricanes have been very good. Carson Beck's been a big part of their success, and so has Mark Fletcher Jr., and he's looked amazing here in the college football playoffs. So I would be a little bit shocked if we saw him not be able to get anything done in this one. And of course, that Miami Hurricane defense has been very, very good this season. Now, technically, or at least the way things are listed right now, it looks like they're going on the road, but this game is not going to be a road game here. This game is going to be played in Miami Gardens, Florida at the Hard Rock Stadium. So is this a home game for Miami? Feels like it's a hell of a lot closer to being a home game for Miami than a home game for the Indiana Hoosiers. Now, the Hoosiers come into this game undefeated on the season. Made it through the Big Ten completely undefeated, 15-0 overall, 9-0 in conference play. They've won the 2 games they had to make it through here in the college football playoff, knocking off Alabama in an absolute blowout. They won that game 38-3. Were never really even threatened. Now, I won't say they've been completely untested here in the college football playoff because you're obviously playing the best of the best in the nation, but it did not look like it there against Alabama. Fernando Mendoza, 14 of 16, 192 yards and 3 passing touchdowns. The running game was very much online, 215 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns on 50 carries. Very, very good work there. They did not turn the ball over in the entire game. Very, very dominant stuff there. They also were great on defense, gave up only 3 points. What a blowout, guys. They gave up 3 points. They were at, 24-3 there in the third quarter. Crazy, crazy work. Absolutely amazing work there from Indiana. They played great in that game. Really, really took care of business in every facet of the game, especially there on defense. And then they followed it up with a very comfortable 56-22 win over Oregon. They were up 14-7 in the first quarter. It wasn't all smooth sailing in that game necessarily, but once it got to the second quarter, it was pretty much over. Mendoza passed for 5 touchdowns in that game, completed 17 of his 20 passes. The running game was once again fully online. Definitely some small areas where they could have potentially improved there in the running game, but once again, they turned the ball over 0 times. But once again, it didn't feel like they were really, truly tested. They slowed down but did not stop the passing attack. The secondary did give up quite a bit there to a very talented Oregon offense. They also gave up some to the run as well. So not an easy walk in the park kind of game there for Indiana in that one. They do end up, making it happen, and it was a walk-off win pretty comfortably there. They were up big come the second quarter, so they weren't that threatened. Will that be the case in this one? Well, over the course of the season, they were one of the best defenses in college football as well. Second in the nation, giving up 11.1 points per game. But when you look at their strength of schedule, and then you look at the strength of schedule of Miami, it's a little bit of a tough comparison. We'll see. We'll see what they're able to do. Obviously, a opponent that they had in common was Ohio State, and Indiana won that game 13-10. Well, Miami, a little bit of a different situation, guys. They blow away Ohio State. Not blow them away, but they do beat them 24-14. So a little bit more comfortable of a win. So looking at the numbers for this game, guys, there's been some line movement, not a crazy amount. Indiana is currently 7.5-point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 47.5 in this game. Miami, well, obviously Indiana's not at home. That's just the way it's listed on the screen. Miami is 10-5 against the spread this year. They're 5-3 against the spread at home, which I think this is a lot closer to a home game for them than it is for Indiana. They are 9-6 to the under. Indiana, they are 10-5 against the spread, 3-2 against the spread on the road, 8-7 to the over. Guys, in terms of a side in this one, I will be taking the Miami Hurricanes here, getting 7.5 points. There have been better numbers out there, so if you were able to snag a bigger plus number, hats off to you, but I do expect this to be a very close game with both teams playing well. I do think we see this come down to a one-score game in the end, giving these points plenty of value. In terms of the total here, I will lean just a little bit towards over 47.5. I wouldn't call myself a monster here in terms of total betting on the college football side of things, but with these two teams, even with good defenses, I do think there's going to be some offense here in a national championship game, so I will lean just slightly towards the over, but definitely my main lean in this game is going to be taking the Hurricanes, getting those points. Now, guys, before we jump in and cover the whole NBA slate here on a pretty busy Monday, we got to shout out the sponsor today and every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, guys, our premium members are getting daily NBA, NHL, UFC, NFL, college football, and college basketball picks. Keep in mind, I'm not the premium handicapper over there for NFL, NHL, college football, UFC, any of that. We have a team of experts covering all of the major sports, guys, and every single one of them has over a decade's worth of experience covering those games. So you definitely want to tune in, want to pay attention to what they're looking at every single solitary day. Our premium NHL handicapper is continuing his hot run over there. He's looked very, very good over the last several days, coming off a nice winning day, hitting the Red Wings as a 2-unit play. Did break out on the Stars there, but that was only a 1-unit play, and cashing the Oilers as a nice big 3-unit play. So the hot run on NHL definitely continues. Our premium NFL handicapper did break out on the Texans, but hit a 10-unit play there on the Rams on the money line. So that was a nice big win. The Hornets +1 also came through. Like I talked about earlier, it was a tough day there on the college basketball streets for sure. Some kind of just tough spots there on a not very deep slate. So you'll have some spots like that over the course of the season. So that was a little bit tough, but overall, another very nice day over there for the premium members. So huge shout out to StumpTheSpread.com, to all the premium stuff over there, but you got to check out the free stuff they offer every single day too. There are free picks under the free picks tab every single solitary day. You also got to get over there and get on that free email newsletter, guys. It's a fantastic resource every single day. There are free picks in those emails on a daily basis. There's also player props. There's a touchdown props for NFL every single time there's a game. There's also tons and tons of great information, all kinds of niche sports. There was a big golf write-up that came out this week with several bets that cashed. I can't keep track of all the golf stuff. I'm not a big golf guy myself. I'm saving that until I'm old enough that I can't play basketball anymore. But we tons of information from our golf handicapper over there. He's very, very deep in those golf streets. I know just a ton of different players, a ton of different angles can be played out there in golf, but also tennis, NASCAR, UFC, WNBA, all kinds of good stuff there. You definitely want to be on that email newsletter. There are parlays in there. There's all kinds of great information, and those touchdown props every single week have been no joke in the NFL. So definitely get on that free email list. All they're going to ask for is your name and your email address to get on that list, and you get one email straight to your inbox every single day, packed full of great information. Also, you can get over there to StumpTheSpread.com and pick up a Stump the Spread hoodie if you're interested. They're being sold right now for $40. That is at cost for us with free shipping for you. So definitely take advantage of that. And if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from us here every single day, you can click that little join button right below the video to become a YouTube channel member. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos, get their name up on screen in every single video, but maybe more importantly, they get access to our members only giveaways. We give away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random channel member here every single Monday. And as your guys' luck would have it, it is Monday today. So we will be doing a giveaway right now. You're going to see exactly how this works. We take the name of every single YouTube channel member. We put them on this big wheel that you're seeing right now on the screen. We click this button, and whoever it lands on gets a Stump the Spread hoodie of their size mailed straight to their address of choice. So love doing these giveaways, guys. Looks like this week's winner is going to be Eric Ty. Get down there in the comments. Let us know that you see that you won the giveaway. We'll give you instructions on how to claim your Stump the Spread hoodie, and we'll get that thing out to you right away. Could be to your address in as little as 7 days, obviously depending on when you get back to us and when and where you live. Obviously, that is a pretty big part of that as well. But huge shout out to all the channel members, guys. Really appreciate you all. Love doing these giveaways every single week. The more channel members we get, the more giveaways we're going to do. So huge shout out to you guys. And now let's dive back in. We've got a big NBA slate to cover here on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We've got noon games all the way through 9 o'clock. So very excited to break down this whole slate. Let's go ahead and dive in. First up, we've got the Milwaukee Bucks going on the road to take on the Atlanta Hawks. The Bucks come into this game 17-24 on the season, losers of 4 in a row. They just lost by 18 there in San Antonio. Now they got to go to Atlanta. It has not been an easy season. All kinds of trade speculation still swirling around Giannis. He's trying to say all the right things now, I guess, or something. I'm not really sure what he's trying to do at this point, but he was a minus 31 in that loss to the Spurs. Nobody had a particularly good game except for Kyle Kuzma, who had 18 points, but it did take him 17 shots to get those 18 points. They didn't shoot the ball particularly well from 3. They had a big rebounding deficit, and they just looked like a team that was nowhere near the level of the San Antonio Spurs. So, yeah, we'll see what they can do here. Obviously, it's been a rough season for the Bucks. They come to this game healthy and ready to go, so at least that's a plus, but like I said, it has not been an easy year. So we'll see what they can do here on the road, taking on the Atlanta Hawks, who come into this game 20-24 on the season. They've lost back-to-back games, getting pretty easily beaten there by the Trailblazers, and then he absolutely manhandled there by the Celtics. Jaylen Brown put up 41 points against them. Not a whole lot of resistance there from Atlanta. Jalen Johnson had a terrible game. Okongwu was good, but yeah, I mean, CJ McCollum in the starting lineup did not look great. 0-5 from 3. Nickeil Alexander-Walker was okay. Corey Kispert did have 16 off the bench, but really not a great day. They shoot 33% from 3. They do get crushed on the boards as well. So, yeah, just a pretty rough day out there for the Atlanta Hawks overall. Their injury situation has not been horrifying, although missing Ricochet might be hurting them more than we would have guessed. Dyson Daniels on the injury report as well, dealing with that ankle issue. He's officially questionable for this game, and Ricochet is officially out. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Hawks are 2.5-point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 232.5. Milwaukee is 10-5 against the spread on the road. They're 12-11 against spread after loss. They are 24-17 this season to the under. Atlanta, they're 7-12 against spread at home, 11-12 against spread after loss, 23-21 to the over. These two teams have not faced each other yet this season, so no head-to-head history here. So looking at the numbers and the injury reports right now, I'm going to lean a bit towards the Milwaukee Bucks. Getting 2.5 points here I don't think is a huge deal, but the Bucks are in a big bounce back spot shooting the ball. If they're not super depressed, maybe they could come through and keep this game within a bucket, but maybe we see a big day from Giannis. But the Hawks are also in a bounce back spot, so this is a little bit of a tough one. I'm not going to get too involved in it either way. Next on the docket, guys, in one of the marquee games of the day, we're looking at the Oklahoma City Thunder traveling to Cleveland to take on the Cavaliers. The Thunder, they come to this game fresh off a 122-120 loss there at the Miami Heat. They waste a 39-point game there from SGA. They give up 30 points to Bam, who's playing absolutely insane, kind of refusing to allow his name to continue to be thrown around in trade rumors because he's been playing nuts. But the Thunder, I mean, they get 14 from Chat, 40 almost from SGA. Nobody else in the starting lineup does much. Aaron Wiggins and AJ Mitchell will play amazing off the bench. They shoot 45% from 3 and still manage to lose. That is very, very troubling, guys. They had no great answers there defensively for the Heat. They were not doing a great job defending the three-point line. Norman Powell had a big day. Bam had a big day. Lots of very good shooting numbers coming off the bench. They just couldn't quite match what the Miami Heat were bringing to the table. Now, the Heat were making a lot of shots, but the Thunder, they're starting to get a little bit banged up. They've still been missing Hartenstein, and now J-Dub has gone down dealing with a hamstring issue. He will not play in this game. So this will not be the fully healthy Oklahoma City Thunder as they make this trip to Cleveland. Now, the Cavaliers are 24-19 on the season, have not had the smoothest of sailing, but they did just win back-to-back games there in Philly, taking down the 76ers. The last game was a 17-15 thriller of a game, but Garland officially going to be out at least a week, and the main reason they were able to win game 2 there against the 76ers, actually costing us a bet in that one, was Jalen Tyson had the game of his life, had 39 points in 38 minutes, and just absolutely shot the lights out in that one. Can we expect him to do that on a night-to-night basis? I would say no. Can we expect him to do that against the Oklahoma City Thunder defense? I would say absolutely not. So we'll see what happens. There's a bunch of weird trade rumors swirling around DeAndre Hunter and how he's like kind of asking/demanding a trade. So we'll see what comes of any of that. And this Cleveland team is not really fully healthy. Having Allen and Mobley both ready to go is great. Donovan Mitchell is a monster, but they are going to miss Garland a decent amount. And they've also been missing just somebody all the time, it feels like. And Garland's going to be out for this game. Dean Wade's going to be out for this game. And missing Sam Merrill is a pretty big deal. They could really use his shooting, especially in this matchup. So, given all that, guys, the Cavaliers are getting 6.5 points here at home. We've got a total of 234.5. The Thunder are 9-11 against the spread on the road, 4-3 against spread after a loss, 22-21 to the under. Cleveland is 7-17 against the spread at home. That's an NBA worst record against the spread at home. They are 8-15 against spread after a win, and they are a slight under team themselves. With this being a Thunder game and with Garland sitting out and J-Dub sitting out, I don't think under 234.5 is a terrible idea. I think that could be a sneaky good play in this spot, but better than that, I'll just take the Thunder here minus 6.5. It is a bounce back game for Donovan Mitchell, but the Thunder are a pretty tough team to bounce back against. They've got lots of guys there on the bench that are hungry for minutes that could just get plugged and played in here. Like AJ Mitchell could just end up in the starting lineup now that J-Dub's out, and I don't think that's a terrible idea. So we'll see what goes on in this one, but I definitely think the Thunder at minus 6.5 are in a pretty good spot. Next on the dock, we're looking at the Los Angeles Clippers heading to Washington to take on the Wizards. The Clippers are 18-23 on the season. They've won 5 in a row, including a 119-105 win against the Wizards just a couple days ago. Their last one was a bit of a tough one. They were at Toronto, and they needed overtime to eventually get the win in that game, but get the win they did. Harden was a monster in that one, played really, really well. This was a game with no Kawhi Leonard. Harden, 42 minutes, 31 points, 9 of 10 from the free throw line, only 2 of 15 from 3. So if he could have a little bit of better of a shooting night, it would have been pretty freaking crazy. But overall, very, very good work out there from Harden. 19 points off the bench from Jordan Miller. Very good work there also from Cam Christie, 16 points off the bench from him on extremely efficient shooting numbers, and Zubac is starting to put up double-doubles again with regularity. So a lot of good news there from the Clippers. Coming into this game, maybe fatigue is a slight issue, but the real issue for the Clippers is always going to be their injury report, especially if Kawhi is on it. And Kawhi will not play during this game. He's dealing with left knee irritation. He is officially sidelined. So that makes a pretty freaking big difference here for the Clippers. They are going on the road to take on a pretty horrible Washington Wizards team that's 10-31 on the season, though. They've lost, what is up to now, 6 straight games. They're coming off a 6-point loss there in Denver against the Nuggets. That was mostly because Jamal Murray went nuts against them. Some signs of life there from the Wizards in that game. I mean, Keyshawn George had 29 points, 4 double-digit scores there in the starting lineup. Chris Middleton was actually very productive for once, and Bagley and Champagnie were both pretty good off the bench. So we'll see. We'll see what they're able to get done in this game. I'm not super high on the Washington Wizards for all the obvious reasons. So, the Kulabi's out for this game. Other than that, they are relatively healthy, so I guess that's a point in their favor, but this is a team designed to lose right now. They're getting 7.5 points here at home. We've got a total of 224.5. The Clippers are 11-10 against the spread on the road, 10-7 against spread after a win. They are 21-20 to the under. Washington is 8-11 against spread at home, 13-17 against spread after a loss, 21-20 to the over. This is a little bit of a tough spot for me, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, the kind of brain dead play here is to just go ahead and take the Clippers and assume they'll win this game comfortably. But this is the front half of a back-to-back for the Clippers. They play in Washington, and then they play in Chicago after that. So I'm not going to get super involved in this game. I will lean just slightly towards the Clippers because the Wizards are pretty bad, and Keyshawn George is in a big letdown spot after a nice day, but I don't think this one is worthy of too much consideration for the pinned comment. Next on the docket, we've got the Dallas Mavericks heading to New York to take on the Knicks. The Mavs are 17-26 on the season. They just won back-to-back games there against the Jazz. Those were home games for the Mavericks, but they made it happen here with Klay Thompson being their leading scorer. Obviously, no Cooper Flagg is a pretty big deal for this team. He's still dealing with that ankle issue. But Brandon Williams, Max Christie, both played really, really well. Obviously, 23 off the bench from Klay on very efficient shooting numbers is super helpful. They shot 44% from 3 in that game. And yeah, just overall played great. But they were taking on pretty much the skeleton crew there for the Utah Jazz. I mean, Keontae George did play, but no Markkanen, no Nurkic in that game. So I'm not ready to overreact to the Dallas Mavericks having a couple wins against the Utah Jazz team that was far from full strength. Dallas comes into this game with a lot of injury concerns. Cooper Flagg, PJ Washington, and Daniel Gafford all on the injury report. Flagg, dealing with this ankle issue, was officially questionable for this game. I would be shocked to see him play. PJ Washington's dealing with some sort of personal issue. He's been ruled out for this game, and Daniel Gafford is out with that ankle problem. So we'll see if they can get any of these guys back to go up against the Knicks. The only possibility would be Cooper Flagg, and I would be very surprised to see that as they head to New York to play at Madison Square Garden here against the Knicks, who are coming off a tough 7-point loss against the Suns. The Suns are a tough out for anyone. The Knicks have been very up and down pretty much since winning the NBA Cup. We saw Anunoby, Cat, and Miles Bridges all play well in that game, but it wasn't enough with Miles McBride, no longer part of the bench unit right now with Brunson injured. They just do not have anything coming off the bench, and that really, really came back to haunt them in this game. Despite having a nice little edge there on the boards, it was not enough. Devin Booker came back and played great against them, and they were not able to make it happen there against the Suns. So we'll see if the Knicks can round back into form. They have lost 3 in a row. We'll see if they can get Brunson back, but right now it's looking like they will not be getting Jalen Brunson. He is, he's officially listed as questionable, and he is the kind of guy to try and come back early from an injury like that in this specific situation. So I wouldn't be completely shocked to see Brunson come back, but I would at least be slightly surprised. We also see Josh Hart on the injury report. He's dealing with an ankle issue as well. He too is questionable for this game. Looking at the numbers, the Knicks are 10.5 point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 230.5. Dallas is only 5-13 against the spread on the road. They're 6-10 against spread after a win. They are 24-19 to the under. The Knicks are 14-7 against spread at home, a number that has been headed in the wrong direction recently, but they've been very good at home. They're 6-10 against spread after a loss. They are 24-19 to the over. Guys, I do actually think there's a real chance that Jalen Brunson comes back and plays in this game here on Martin Luther King Day. And if he does, the Knicks are in fantastic shape. Especially Brunson's going to want to play against his old team. So I will definitely take the Knicks here at minus 10.5 because this number will go up if Brunson ends up suiting up. And I just think the Mavs are in a big letdown spot after back-to-back easy games against a Jazz team that was at far from full strength. Speaking of the Jazz, guys, they're up next. They're headed on the road to take on the San Antonio Spurs here. The Jazz, they've lost 3 in a row and 4 of their last 5, falling to the Mavericks twice and at the Bulls. Their road trip continues here as they head to San Antonio, so we'll see how things go. In that loss against the Mavericks, obviously no Markkanen, no Nurkic, not the full-strength Jazz here. Ace Bailey played okay in his 37 minutes. Got to give him credit for that. Keontae George was very good, continues to be great out there. The bench was actually very productive. Sensabaugh putting up 25 points. They shoot 32% from 3. They do a good job on the boards, but in the end, it's not enough. And when you're missing 2 of your best players, that's often going to be the case. Like, you can play well and still end up taking the loss. It does look like Nurkic will be playing in this game, but Markkanen, on the other hand, dealing with that illness, he's officially been ruled out. It seems like the tanking part of the season has started for these Utah Jazz. Maybe Markkanen's still too sick to play, but he's going to be missing now. I believe this is his 3rd game due to an illness. That is not usual. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the San Antonio Spurs, who are 29-13 on the season. They just played an amazing game there against the Timberwolves, outlasting Anthony Edwards, putting up 55 against them. San Antonio has won 2 in a row. They haven't necessarily been at full strength, but Wembanyama back there in the starting lineup, 31 minutes, 39 points, 12 of 23 from the field, and 4 of 9 from 3. Very dominant stuff there. Champagnie was actually pretty bad there in the starting lineup. Harrison Barnes continues to be terrible. Seems like they could definitely use an upgrade in that position, but De'Aaron Fox finally got back on track. 25 points in his 37 minutes. Keldon Johnson had 20 off the bench. They shoot 39% from 3. They have a slight advantage on the boards, and they do come away with that 3-point win. So well played there from the San Antonio Spurs. They're as healthy as they can get right now. Devin Vassell is still going to be out for this game dealing with that abductor issue. He has officially been ruled out, but other than that, they are healthy and ready to go. They are 16.5-point favorites at home in this game. We've got a total of 241.5. The Jazz are 9-12 against spread on the road, 15-12 against spread after a loss. They are 27-15 to the over. The Spurs are 11-8-1 against spread at home, 14-12-2 against spread after a win, 25-18 to the under. Once again, I don't really have a big lean on the total in this game. Maybe just a slight lean towards under, but better than that, guys. 16.5 is just too many points to take, even with the Jazz not going to have Markkanen. I will take Utah getting 16.5 in this spot. It could potentially be our dog of the day. We'll have to wait and see, but even without Markkanen, this is just too many points for a usually very competitive Utah Jazz squad. Rolling right along here, we're looking at the Indiana Pacers heading to Philadelphia to take on the 76ers. The Pacers, they come into this game 10-33 on the season. It has not been great. They're coming off an absolute blowout loss there at Detroit. Now they got to head to Philly and take on the 76ers. They've had some wins here recently, beating the Pelicans, a very surprising 2-point win over the Celtics, taking down the Heat and taking down the Hornets, but it has not, like I said, been that smooth of sailing this season. This team really doesn't have much incentive to be winning games. They're obviously not headed anywhere important this year, but seems like they want to keep the core together, seems like they want to keep the core sharp, and they are playing everybody still, so we'll see what happens. Obviously, not a lot to be taken from that blowout loss there against the Pistons. Really, nobody played for the Pacers in that game. No Siakam, Siakam, that's obviously a huge problem. No Neesmith, that's a pretty big problem. So we'll see if they're in for a little bit of a bounce back, see if they're going to put those guys out there here against these 76ers. Now, the injury report does look pretty good. Obviously, no Mathurin for this game, but it does appear that Siakam, Nembhard, Neesmith, Jay Huff, everybody going to be out there and ready to go. The second unit is also fully healthy for the Pacers as they head to Indiana to take on the 76ers, who have dropped 3 out of their last 4. Losing back-to-back games to the Cavaliers, albeit against a massive outlier performance there from Jalen Tyson. I mean, they didn't play terrible in that game. Embiid had 33 points. Maxey, though, continued to struggle. Only 22 points in 39 minutes. He went 9 of 23 from the field. Not a good night from him at all. Oubre and Quentin Grimes both playing pretty well there off the bench. As a team, they shoot 38% from 3. Paul George, 2 of 6 from 3, but 6 of 12 from the field. Overall, they did play well enough, I thought, to win this game against who the Cavaliers were putting out there for most of it. But yeah, Tyson just, shot him out of the gym. So sometimes you're going to have that happen. And if you don't rise to the occasion and find a way to slow him down, nothing good is going to happen to you in the NBA. Now, Paul George and Embiid both on the injury report here. Paul George questionable due to left knee injury management. Embiid also questionable due to left knee injury management. I don't really have any major reason to think they won't play in this game, and especially when you look at the numbers here, it does appear like at least one of them will be playing in this game, but that doesn't have to be the end of the world if we see one or even both sit this game out, because there are other options that can take up Embiid's spot. Will they be as productive? No. There are other guys who can take up Paul George's spot. I actually think the 76ers would be better off with Kelly Oubre Jr. in that starting role as opposed to Paul George. When you're paying him all that money, you got to play him. So, looking at the numbers here, guys, the 76ers are 7.5 or 8-point favorites, depending on where you look. We've got a total of 228.5. The Pacers are 8-11 against spread on the road, 15-17 against spread after loss, 27-16 to the under. The 76ers are 9-12 against spread at home, 12-5 against the spread coming off a loss, and they're a slight over team themselves. Not really super enticed by the total in this game either, but I will definitely be taking the 76ers here minus 7.5. I don't think the Pacers are really going to stick with them that much. I do think it could be a competitive game early on, theoretically, but I think by the end, especially if we see Joel Embiid play in this game, it is not going to be a very close one, and the 76ers should comfortably win by double figures. Next on the docket here, guys, we've got the Phoenix Suns heading to Brooklyn to take on the Nets. The Suns are 25-17 on the season. They're coming off a nice 7-point win there at Madison Square Garden. Not a crazy travel spot. Obviously, they just have to go from Madison Square Garden right over there to Barclays Center to take on the Nets. Now, in that win over the Knicks, Devin Booker came back from that ankle injury, played really, really well. 27 very solid points from him, overcoming a terrible shooting night there from Dylan Brooks. Mark Williams was very productive, definitely a big help there. Colin Gillespie, not the best shooting night from him. Grayson Allen only made 4 out of 14 from the field, but did make all 4 of his free throws, and all 4 of those shots were threes, so that helped. And Jordan Goodwin, guys, a very nice day out there from him. 13 extremely efficient points. They win this game despite, not having an amazing day on the boards at all, and despite not even having an amazing shooting night. So the defense really coming up clutch. You give them only 99 points in the NBA, you're going to win an awful lot of basketball games. So we'll see what they've got cooking for this one. The injury report's looking pretty good, except for Devin Booker is on there, technically questionable for this game due to left ankle soreness. But I think here on Martin Luther King Day, we will certainly see Devin Booker out there and playing in this game. So we're going to operate under the impression that he will play here as they head to Brooklyn to take on the Nets, who are fresh off a 22-point loss there at the Chicago Bulls. They lose game 2 of that home-and-home set. Nothing great cooking for the Nets in that one. We don't see Michael Porter Jr. play in this game, and I think you're going to see them sit him out an awful lot more here approaching the trade deadline, just in case they end up trading him, and it's just all good for them to sit him out because they need him to potentially, to stop shooting him into wins, because they need to be losing games here. Cam Thomas, just a horrifying performance from him. 24 minutes, 3 points, 1 of 6 from the field. He did have 10 assists in the game, so maybe he's trying to make a little bit of a statement there that he can rack up assists, but that did not lead to the Nets being even competitive there against the Chicago Bulls. Now, looking at the injury report here, we see Drake Powell and Michael Porter Jr. both listed as out. Powell officially will not play in this game due to injury management. Michael Porter Jr. Will sit out for rest purposes, or sat that game out for rest purposes against Chicago. I guess we don't officially have any clarity on whether or not he's going to play here on Monday. I would assume that since he just sat out for rest, he will end up playing in this one, which could be a little bit of bad news there for the Phoenix Suns if they can't find a way to contain him. So, looking at the numbers here, the Nets are getting 7.5 points at home. We've got a total of 218.5 in this game. The Suns, they are 15-8 against spread on the road. They are 16-8 against spread after win. They are 25-17 to the under. The Nets are 10-11 against spread at home, 0-7 against the spread playing on no rest this year. They're 24-15 to the under. 218.5 is not a big number, but I would still lean slightly towards under just given this specific matchup. In terms of the side, though, I love the Phoenix Suns here at -7.5. The Suns on the money line could end up being our lock of the day, theoretically, just because I think they're very likely to get the win here. I'm expecting a bounce-back shooting night from Dillon Brooks. I'm expecting Devin Booker to be out there and to play well in this game. And even if Michael Porter Jr. is having a decent day out there, I don't think it's going to be enough. And I think he'll struggle a little bit. I mean, the Suns are a very, very good and a very disciplined defensive team. I think they can make life hard for him. I don't expect anything great from the rest of Brooklyn. So definitely think this is a good spot to back the Suns, who are a very good team on the road and very good coming off a win. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we've got two very good games. We're looking at the Boston Celtics heading to Detroit to take on the Pistons. The Celtics, they are 26-15 on the season, so a very, very solid record for a team that was supposed to have such a terrible time. Well, we'll see. Detroit is up 2-1 in this series, so we'll see if there's any sort of correction there. The Celtics have won 2 in a row, taking down the Hawks in a blowout their last time out and getting a close win at Miami before that. So they continue this little road trip. Jaylen Brown coming off a 41-point game there against Atlanta. We also liked what we saw from Sam Hauser. He put up 30, he went 10 of 21 from the field. All of those shots were threes. A very nice night. He was a plus 30 out there. Nothing too crazy coming from the bench aside from Anthony Simons, as always being very productive. He puts up 14 points off the pine. They shoot 42% from three, 51% from the field, and they dominated the glass in this one. So a very solid effort there from Boston. We'll see if they can keep things rolling. Peyton Pritchard is the only major guy on the injury report for them. He's dealing with an ankle issue, and that has him officially questionable for this game. The Pistons are not usually an easy nut to crack this season. They're 30-10 overall. They're coming off wins against the Pacers and Suns. They've won 5 out of their last 6 games. In that game against the Pacers, we almost don't even need to break it down, guys, because it was such a dominant win. Duncan Robinson had 16. Jalen Duren had 15. Cade had only 16. But everybody was chipping in. The bench looked so good. The defense looked so dominant. They shot 47% from 3 in this game. Completely crushed Indiana on the boards and defensively, and it was just an easy win there for the Pistons. So we'll see if they can, back that up here against a much tougher Celtics team. In general, the injury report just looks completely clean there from the Pistons, which can sometimes be a curse in disguise. Detroit really seems to fare a lot worse when we see lots of Tobias Harris and Karis LeVert minutes, and with them healthy, that could definitely happen in this game. But looking at the numbers, I'm intrigued. The Pistons are 2.5 or 3-point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 223.5. The Celtics, they're 14-8 against spread on the road. They're 14-11 against spread after win. They are 23-18 to the under. Detroit is 11-9 against spread at home, 16-13 against spread after win, 22-17-1 to the under. So with both teams showing trends towards the under, we could take under 223.5, even though it's not a very big number. Better than that, guys, I will take the Pistons here at -2.5 playing at home. I think it's going to be okay that they're fully healthy here. I'm expecting very big days from guys like Jalen Duren and Cade Cunningham. I also think Isaiah Stewart could maybe be an X factor in this game, and Jaden Ivey coming off the bench could be very, very helpful. Boston just doesn't have the kind of depth that the Pistons have. They also don't have a premier level big man to slow down Jalen Duren, and I think that's going to be the difference maker in this game, giving the Pistons here playing at home. Last but not least, guys, we're looking at a game that it's kind of a shame is not going to be nationally televised. We've got the Miami Heat heading to Golden State to take on the Warriors. The Heat are 22-20 on the season. They're coming off a crazy 2-point win there over the Thunder, albeit in a game where the Thunder did lose J-Dub after he played only 14 minutes, but still, that's a very nice win. We liked what we saw from Bam. He continues to play amazing. 30 points from him and 12 boards. Norman Powell shot the ball well. We liked what we saw from Pele Larson. We liked what we saw from Fontecchio. Just great production up and down the lineup for the Heat. They shot the ball really well in that game, making 40% of their threes. 20 of 50 from long range is a very nice day. They also had a nice little rebounding edge there against the Thunder, and really everything that they needed to happen kind of happened there for the Miami Heat, and they still only win that game by 2 points. So we'll see. We'll see what they can do in this one. They are a little banged up. Davion Mitchell and Tyler Hero both on the injury report, along with Jaime Jaquez Jr. So some pretty important pieces there. Davion Mitchell sounds like he will play in this game. Hero dealing with that rib issue is listed as out for this game and did not travel with the Heat ahead of their 5-game road trip. And Jaime Jaquez Jr. dealing with that knee issue. He is questionable here as they head to Golden State to take on a Warriors team that's suddenly looking much better. They've won 5 out of their last 6 games. They're now 5 games above 500, and they've been winning games despite Steph not really popping off and scoring a ton of points. In that 136-116 win there over the Hornets, it seemed like their entire goal was to make anybody but Steph Curry beat them. They were face guarding Steph all over the court, even into the tunnel. It was a pretty crazy look, and they were abandoning other people. Draymond had 20 points, made 4 threes in the game. As a team, Golden State made 23 out of 52 threes. That's 44% from the field. Melton was a monster in this game. Buddy Hield played meaningful minutes and played well. Al Horford played really, really well in this one. Podziemski played really well. Like, these are guys you can't necessarily count on a nightly basis, but when they play well, this Warriors team looks an awful lot better. So we'll see if they can run it back, see if they can play well, in back-to-back games. We do see some troubling guys on the injury report. Jimmy is ready to go, but no D'Anthony Melton, no Gui Santos, and Draymond's also on the injury report. Melton dealing with left knee injury management there, which makes sense. You don't want to be overtaxing him. They need him down the stretch, and Santos dealing with that ankle issue is out. Draymond is listed as probable due to a right ankle sprain, so it sounds like he will be out there, but this will not quite be the 100% Warriors who have really, really needed the production that D'Anthony Melton gives them. So looking at the numbers, the Warriors are 6.5-point favorites in this game. We've got a total of 238.5. Miami is 11-9 against spread on the road, 10-11 against spread after win, 22-20 to the under. The Warriors are 13-9 against spread at home, 10-13 against spread after win, 25-18 to the over. This is a tough one, guys, but I'm going to take the Miami Heat and the points. I don't feel like they have any answer out there for Bam or Kel'el Ware, especially like if your centers are going to be Quentin Post and Al Horford. Bam especially is going to eat those guys alive. Now, will they be able to slow down Steph? Maybe, maybe not, but Steph hasn't been playing great recently, and if Draymond's even slightly limited, or Podziemski has a bad day, or Moody has a bad day, or Jimmy Butler isn't being active, then the Warriors are going to be sunk in this one. So give me the Heat getting the points in this one. Guys, that's all the games we have here for today. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. I really appreciate everybody that takes the 10th of a second to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Trying to make it to 100K subs this year. That's a very lofty goal, but I think we can make it happen. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I'm more than happy to get back to you. I at least read, if not read and answer every single question. I appreciate everybody watching these videos. Make sure you're clicking the link in the description. Get over there, check out all the free stuff at stumpthespread.com. Get on those red hot NHL picks. Definitely get over there and get on that email list also. And guys, we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Same time, same place for more sports betting action.